is by Anees Jung, and today we are going to do Literature Flamingo Class 12. The title is The Lost Spring by Anees Jung. Well, children, here the author highlights the misery and poverty faced by the slum children. There are two parts of the story. The first part of the story highlights how the slum children lead a miserable and filthy life in Simapuri, a part of Delhi. And the second story highlights how the children of Firozabad lead a miserable life, working in bangle factories. So both these stories, highlight the misery and sorrow of the children whose spring or childhood is lost. In the first story, Sahib is a child who is living in the slum areas in Simapuri, a part of Delhi, and he searches gold coin in the garbages every day. The child wishes to play like other children and have a comfortable childhood, but the fact is that Sahib has to search coin in the garbages right from early morning to early evening, and just for his survival. He is unable to study because there is no school in the in the slum dwelling area where he lives. So absence of school enables him to go to school and study. There are a number of rag pickers like Sahib, and all of them are barefoot. It is just because they can't afford a pair of shoes. Secondly, they just want to conceal their poverty and misery by saying that their tradition doesn't allow them to wear a pair of shoes. But the fact is that they cannot afford it. They want to even wear a paper shoes, though they can't afford it. Simapuri in Delhi is an area for rag pickers. The author feels that for children, garbage is a mysterious gift because sometimes they find gold coin or coins in them. And for the elders, it is a means of survival. In the first part of the story, the author has highlighted and commented on the discrepancy between the Sahib's desire and the reality. The desire that has been shown by the author is that Sahib wants to lead a comfortable childhood, wants to enjoy pleasure of childhood, play tennis and wear shoes. But the reality is that he cannot. He has to live in dirty slum colony, and he has to search, a coin in the garbage right from morning till evening. He is sometimes disappointed because he doesn't find any school in his area. And later on in this latter part of his life, when he, grows tired of, searching coin in the garbages, he joins tea stall where he is paid rupees 800 and all the 2 meals every day. So he starts working at a tea stall, but the difference is that at the tea stall he is not the master of his own. He doesn't have a free desire to do anything. He is completely restricted by the shop owner, the shopkeeper, and not allowed to go freely. Whereas while he was working as a rag picker, he had freedom to go anywhere he liked, and he had freedom to enjoy his wishes and desire. So that is the main part of the first part of the story. The second part of the story, there is a child who wants to become a driver or a car driver. In the second part, the author met a boy called Mukesh. Mukesh stays in Firozabad and belongs to a family of bangle makers. Most of the families in Firozabad are engaged in making bangles. About 20,000 children work in the glass furnaces of Firozabad. They have to work in a very, unhealthy conditions. Mukesh takes the author and talks to the author and tells about what kind of life the bangle, makers lead in Firozabad. The misery and sorrow of the bangle maker is being highlighted in the second story. Mukesh's father works hard. He has been unable to change the deplorable condition of the family. Mukesh's grandfather regards it as their destiny. He says that they are born as a bangle maker, and they will die as a bangle maker. Mukesh's grandmother also regards this as a permanent or perpetual condition. She says that the family of the bangle makers are born as bangle makers and will lead a life of bangle making, and they will die as a bangle maker. The author sees a girl named Savita in another hutment. She says that she has not enjoyed even one full meal all her life. The author says that the cry of poverty rings in every home in Firozabad. These poor people are exploited by sahukars, policemen, middlemen, bureaucrats and politicians. The author feels happy that Mukesh had decided to go to a garage and leave the job of the bangle making. He wants to become a motor mechanic. Dreaming of flying airplanes seems distant thing for the people of Firozabad. At least being a mechanic will help him to be a master of his own will. He would be able to remain independent and lead a better life by working in a garage or by becoming a mechanic, car mechanic. So that is how the two stories highlight the poverty and misery of the children. They have really lost their spring of life, that means childhood of life. Now some question answers. How is Mukesh's attitude to his situation different from that of his family? Mukesh is trying to break away from the family traditions of making bangles. This was more like a rebellion, since no one had ever tried to move away from the tradition. Mukesh wanted to be a cab driver, to be a car driver. He wants to be different from his other family members. He wants to become a car mechanic. Second question. Yeah, what explanation does the author offer for the children not wearing footwear? The author argues that the children are poor, so they can't have any shoes. But in the opinion of those rag pickers, actually they hide their poverty, they conceal their poverty, saying that their tradition is there, that they don't wear shoes. But the fact is that they can't afford. Now another question. What makes the city of Firozabad famous? The city of Firozabad is famous for bangle making or for the bangle factories. Mention the hazards of working in the glass bangle industry. There are a lot of health hazards for the bangle workers. The bangle factory is just like a dark dinghy. They are badly lit and have bad ventilation. It requires continuous bending over the furnace. All these lead to a lot of health, insecurity. Men have to work in dingy cells without air and light. As a result, they lose their eyesight, their brightness of the eyes, and go blind before age. With the dust from the polishing of the glass, their eyes get spoiled and they become blind before age. And the last question. What forces conspire to keep the workers to the bangle industry of Firozabad in poverty? This includes sahukars, middlemen, policemen, bureaucrats, politicians who exploit them. The bureaucrats exploit these bangle makers. Whenever they raise a voice against the poverty and misery they are leading, whenever they are being blackmailed by the sahukars and middlemen and policemen, they are being tortured, exploited, and they are put into jail. So there is a nexus of there is a close nexus of the policemen, sahukars, middlemen and bureaucrats, and they have made the children of Firozabad suffer a lot. That is the reason why they are not able to break the shade and come out of this poverty and misery. They are compelled to lead a miserable life and work in bangle factories. That is only because of the nexus between the politician, sahukars, policemen and bureaucrats. Thank you very much.